Hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to Kinda Shabby. My name is Becky, and I am so glad you stopped by. For today's Christmas crafting projects, we're going to be using this gorgeous woven jute chair webbing, and we're also going to be using red green sack striped fabric, as well as red ticking stripe fabric too. Many of these projects are Pinterest inspired, so I'll be sure to include the original links wherever possible. Well, there is lots of crafty fun in store, so let's get these projects started. So we have a couple of projects that we're going to be using our gorgeous woven jute webbing on, and isn't that just so pretty? They actually have this in several different colors, but of course the red is perfect for Christmas. So for our first project, we are going to be recreating this gorgeous little pocket. How cute is that? And I found this on organizedclutter.net. Now inside her pocket she has a flameless candle, but I'm going to use one of these that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. That is removable. This is all we want to use, and then when you put your batteries in and you screw this down, it still lights up and you don't need the base. Make sure whatever you use is flameless and will also fit inside the pocket that you're going to make. So my woven webbing is actually the same on both sides, so it isn't going to matter which way I have facing up. So you'll take your candle that you will be using, and the measurements will vary depending on how tall your candlestick is. So I think that right there is going to be good. I'll make a little snip just above that, and then I can cut it straight across. And now we are going to make a little pocket here, and I'm going to finger press the bottom, and then we're going to take our glue and we're going to glue it down on either side. And you want to get it close to the edge, and you want to make sure that that glue has set. And then we're going to come over to the other side and do the same thing. And that's our little pocket so far. And now I'm taking some green florist wire, but you could actually use jute twine. Anything like that for your hanger would be really cute as well. And I'm gonna come in from the edge a little bit and push that through to the back, make a loop, and then come over here and do the same thing. We're gonna pull a little bit of that through. Now on the back, we're just going to twist that around so that way it's not going to come back through the front. And just make like a little wire knot here. And then do the same thing to your other side as well. I think those little knots are cute, so I'm actually going to use that as the front of my project. And let me tuck in my candle. And I thought this was just so gorgeous. But any kind of greenery that is Christmassy in nature will be just fine. I'm going to clip off a little bit of this here and then just fill in blank areas. Tuck that one in the front. That is so cute. And how quick and easy was that? I took some jute twine and an old rusted bell, and I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. I think that that's actually going to be really cute right there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And I'm going to stick a piece of cardstock down in there so I don't glue my pocket closed. I think that is adorable. I really like that. And we'll move on to our next webbing project. Okay, next up with our little jute webbing will be these little cuties right here. Isn't that adorable? And I found this at Adirondack Girl at Heart. So these are what we're going to be recreating next. First, we'll need a 4-inch long section of our jute. We're going to need a hole for a hanger. So I'm going to see if my hole punch will work. Look at that, it worked. And now that we have both of our holes cut, we can fray the edges, and you just keep pulling out strings until you get a little fringe on the bottom that looks good to you. So that's about the right amount of fraying that I like, and you do what works best for you. Now that we have the base of our little ornaments, we're going to be needing, they actually look like cute little pine pipe cleaners. This is a 12-inch long, and you'll need 6 inches for each of your wreaths. Snip that in half, and now you just want to form that into a wreath. Now that glue's cooled off a little bit, I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze it with my fingers. And then you just glue the ends together on however many of these little ornaments you choose to make. And now we're going to glue our wreaths to our jute. I'm just going to add a couple of little dots all the way around my wreath. And then just give that a good fluff. And she has little banners with some Christmas words on there. I have my Clickable stamps here that I like. I will put a link for you for Michael's. They don't have these on Amazon anymore. And I also have my Merry and Bright Iron Orchid Designs stamps. And I think I'll use some of the pretty little Christmas words in here too. So I'm going to try it on fabric for one and on my scrapbook paper for the other one. You could also print out words on cardstock and just cut them off and glue them onto your little wreaths. That would be perfect as well. Your stamps have a backer sheet, and then they also have a protective sheet over the front of them. So I'm just going to put my stamp right here on my protective sheet, ink it up with a little bit of black ink. I think that is so sweet. I love that. So I'm going to set this aside and let the ink dry on that. And there's also a little teeny tiny joy right here. So I'm also going to place that down on my clear protective sheet here and ink that up. And anytime that I am stamping onto fabric, I also want to put a little more ink on there than I normally would for paper. And I'm just using a piece of drop cloth fabric, and we'll see how that looks. And that's very sweet on our fabric as well. I think my word joy looks a little plain, so I've got this gorgeous little frame here, and I'm only going to ink up just the top edges to place on either side of my word. So that's what we have there. I think that's really pretty. And now we need to get these cut out and applied to our wreaths. One edge of the corner to the middle, corner to the middle, just like that. And now we take our little graphic banners and we're going to glue them to our wreaths. Add some glue to the wreath and press on my paper and come over and do the same thing on the other side. Just darling. And we'll do the same thing for the word joy. For your hanger, you could use ribbon. Any color that you like would be gorgeous. Just the jute twine, that would really be cute with that. I have some red jute, and I'm going to go ahead and use that for my hanger. I'm going to fold my jute in half, push the loop through the hole, and bring that up and through to hang it like that. And then I just tie a knot up at the top. And there we have it. So sweet and simple and so perfect for any rustic Christmas tree. And for our last Pinterest inspired project with our woven jute, look how cute that is. And I found this on the Lovely Homemaker blog spot. I'm gonna put that on a rag to keep it from rolling around on me. So I'm just gonna wrap this around. I'm gonna make sure I've got some good overlap here and then just trim that off. And I am going to turn this under so we don't have a raw edge. And this stuff is really, really easy to finger press. So I've got a little seam just like that. And to hold it in place while I get my upholstery nails out, I'm going to just put a rubber band around there. That goes right in. Then I can remove my rubber band. And then we'll put this right in the middle. And that is all there is to it. Look how cute that is. and it just gives a cozy little rustic update to your candles for Christmas time. But I'm going to take some of this. I think just tying on just a little bit of a sprig like that just kind of adds to some Christmassy vibes. So this is the last one that we're going to be doing with our woven jute. And now we'll move on to our beautiful grain sack stripe. We're going to be making some cute little Christmas shapes. And I want to do Christmas trees, so I just cut out a triangle shape out of cardstock. And then I also want to do mittens and stockings. And you can see I just used a pencil to draw, and I kind of erased and just drew until I got a little shape that I liked. Now I'm just going to do the same thing and cut these out just like I did my triangle. And now with our shapes cut out, we have a pattern for our fabric. Now my fabric is the same on both sides, so it isn't going to matter how I lay mine to cut it out. Now for my Christmas tree, I want my stripes to go horizontally. Place it on my fabric how I like it. Use my pencil to trace and then cut that out. For my mittens and my stocking, I want the stripes to be vertical. And we'll just get those traced and cut too. Now with all of our shapes cut out, you absolutely could use hot glue to attach your pieces together, but I'm old school. I'm gonna go to my sewing machine and I'm gonna stitch. And on my Christmas tree, I'm going to leave a section open at the bottom here for the stuffing. And for our cute little mittens and our stocking, I'm going to leave a section open at the top of these, again, for us to be able to put our stuffing in. And I stitched all my shapes together with red thread, and we're not going to turn these, we're just going to leave the edge just like this. Now we're going to use some fiber fill, and we're going to stuff our little shapes here. And you want to make sure you work it into the toe of your little stocking. I'm going to come down here and put some in the heel. And we're going to do that with all three of our little shapes here. And on my little mitten, I'm actually using my pencil eraser to gently push the stuffing into the thumb of my mitten. And now that they are all stuffed, we're actually going to glue these closed. Push the stuffing out of the way with my pencil, run my glue, and then press it down. And for our Christmas tree, we need to glue in our trunk. I think I actually like these cute little clothespins, so I'm going to put that in there, pull that back and put some glue on the clothespin itself to glue it to the tree, and then same thing on the other side here. Then I'm going to come back and pinch all of this closed and glue all of that shut. That is really cute. I like that. And now we're going to use some coffee dyed cotton muslin to finish off our little stocking and our little mitten. I'm just going to snip and rip a little strip here. And I'm just going to trace this all the way across for my mitten and also for my stocking. And now we're going to lay that on top of our little stocking. And when we glue that down, that forms the little cuff. And I'm just only going to do small sections at a time because I don't want a buildup of glue. And there we go. That is really cute. Now these actually work really well as bowl fillers. They also look really cute on tiered trays. If you wanted to make them into ornaments, that would be really cute. So we finished all the projects that I wanted to do with our little grain sack stripe, and now let's move on to our ticking stripe projects. So I have two projects planned for our red ticking stripe fabric, and the first one is going to be a cute little burlap garland. And this is just a jumbo roll of the burlap ribbon that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. You want to cut off a section that's going to be long enough depending on where you're going to use it. So I'm going to measure out a piece of this ribbon that is 6 feet long. Next, you're going to need some 1¼ inch wide strips of your red ticking fabric. And I just like to snip and rip mine. That way you get that gorgeous ragged edge on both sides. I like that ratty look there. Make a snip and then I rip. And then you want to remove any excess string from your snipped fabric here. You want to cut each of those strips into 10.5-inch long pieces. And now you're going to take your burlap ribbon and you're going to fold that in half. And I am going to crease and bunch that up so it kind of looks like a little bow. Take one of my strips and tie that off. Just like this. You're going to go about a foot away from there and you're going to pinch it and tie that off there as well. And then again, you're going to go a foot from there, pinch that and tie that off. And that's what you have so far. And then you're going to do the same on the other side as well. So now that we have all of our little ticking stripe strips tied on, I'm coming back with some red twine, a little bit of greenery, and more of these rusty bells. And I'm going to put some twine through the bell, and I am going to wedge that greenery into the top of the bell. I really don't like to use glue for things like this. That way I can use all of this again, and I don't have glue everywhere. Now I take this, and we're going to tie that to the middle of our ticking stripe. And so I'm just going to go and tie my bells all the way down the rest of my garland. And that's all there is to it. That is just so cute. How quick and simple was that? Well, we've got one more ticking fabric project left. And for our last project, we're going to be taking styrofoam balls to make rag ball ornaments. And again, we're going to need strips of our fabric, but this time we need these strips to be 3/4 inches wide. So again, I'm going to measure, make my snip, and rip. And again, we're going to remove all of our excess string. And my ball has like a little depression, so I'm going to put just a little bit of glue right there, and I'm going to start my strip there. And now we're going to bring this down. I'm going to put just a tiny little dot there, and I'm going to continue around. And when I come back to where I started, I'm going to put just a little dot of glue here at that intersection, and then we're going to slightly overlap that. Then when I get back to the bottom, I'm going to cross it over so it looks like I'm making a little bit of an X. And now I'm going to come alongside and slightly overlap that edge. Now when I get back to the top, I'm again going to cross that over. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there. And again, I'm going to slightly overlap that edge. And when I get to the bottom, I want to cross over and continue this way. And that's how we're going to keep going until we have completely covered our little ball here. So as you're working with it, sometimes more string will come off, so I'm definitely going to clip those extra pieces of string. But this is what we are left with once we cover our ball with our little rag strips. Well, now let me get my things together and we'll put a hanger on this. Now I'm going to cut a piece of twine at 11 inches and we're going to knot it at these ends here. We're going to glue that to our ornament. And you really could just leave it like that if you wanted to, because that's really cute and rustic as well. But I'm going to add just a little bit of greenery and a little bow to this as well. And I'm going to take a strip of my coffee dyed muslin fabric and I'm just going to tie a normal shoelace bow, just like that. And then glue that on top of my greenery. Just like that. And these things are just so cute, quick, and easy to do. Well, now I just need to give you a closer look and let you see how cute all of this week's projects turned out. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's rustic Christmas crafts and that you plan on making a few of these for yourself. Let me know in the comments below which was your favorite. I loved the little burlap garland with the bells. It looked so pretty on my Christmas tree, but I just love the way it looks on my table. So cute with those little plates that I picked up from Walmart several years ago. That little garland would also be very pretty wired onto a wreath, or even if you wrapped your Christmas packages and adorned it with the little burlap and bows. How cute would that be? Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been my pleasure to craft with you. And so until next time, my sweet friends, be blessed.